Planning a trip to Canada and puzzled by the visa procedure? Take a deep breath, you're not the only one. Every year, thousands of people grapple with the labyrinth of foreign paperwork. The complex legalese, the administrative hurdles, and the seemingly interminable list of prerequisites can seem daunting and perplexing. When you think about visas, you might visualize mountains of paperwork, countless hours invested in completing mind-numbing forms, and the haunting fear of a small error leading to an application rejection. Does that sound familiar? Undoubtedly, you're not alone in this. The good news is, you've landed on this video. Our objective is to provide an extensive guide that simplifies the intimidating task of applying for a Canadian visa. We are here to assist you in navigating through the ocean of paperwork, comprehend the intricacies of the application process, and smooth over any misunderstandings. Canada offers an array of visas: permanent residence visas, work permits, study permits, visitor visas, and more. Each has its own set of requirements, including proof of financial support, medical examinations, and police certificates, among others. Our team of experts has spent countless hours dissecting these application forms, decoding the language, and translating it into simple, understandable terms. We've labored so you don't have to. Understanding the visa process has its distinct advantages. It reduces errors, makes your application process smooth, and increases the chances of a positive outcome. It also empowers you with knowledge, making you less dependent on external help. This video aims to unravel the convoluted process and transform it into simple, easy-to-follow steps. So sit back, relax, and let us guide you through the maze of the Canadian visa process. Step 1. Determine the type of visa needed. Now, let's delve deeper into this step, as it may initially appear simple, but in reality, it's a process that calls for careful consideration of various elements to ensure a well-informed decision. The visa application process is a pivotal step in planning any international itinerary, and accuracy is vital. There are several types of visas available, and each serves a distinct purpose. Let's start with the most common type, the Electronic Travel Authorization, more commonly known as ETA. This visa type is typically sought by travelers intending a short stay in the country, such as for a brief business trip or a short vacation. The ETA allows travelers to enter the country for a restricted time span and is usually processed at a much quicker pace than other types of visas. But it's important to note that it is not suitable for prolonged stays, or for those who desire to engage in activities such as work or study. Moving on to the second type, we have the visitor visa. This visa is typically required for those planning to remain in the country for an extended period, either for an extended vacation, academic pursuits, or work-related activities. The application process for this visa type is more rigorous, often involving an interview at the respective embassy or consulate. The issuance of a visitor visa hinges predominantly on the applicant's reasons for visiting and their financial ability to sustain themselves throughout their stay. In essence, the choice of visa is heavily influenced by factors such as the duration of your stay, your intended activities during this period, and crucially, your nationality. It's not a one-size-fits-all scenario, so it's imperative to dissect your exact requirements and circumstances before making a decision on the type of visa to apply for. The right visa choice will pave the way for a hassle-free journey. Step 2. Get your documents ready. This step is fundamental and mustn't be overlooked. Therefore, we'll delve even deeper into what's required. First off, you'll need a valid travel document like a passport. A passport is the primary document required for international travel. It is your evidence of nationality and identity. This must be valid for at least 6 months beyond your planned date of departure from the visiting country. It must also be in a good condition, with your photograph clearly visible and all personal details legible. Moving on, the second requirement is 2 recent passport photos. These photos must be clear, in color, and taken within the last 6 months to reflect your current appearance. The photos must portray a full frontal view of your face, a neutral expression, and both eyes open. The standard size for passport photos is 2x2 inches, 51 by 51 mm. The photos must be printed on matte or glossy photo quality paper. Headgear or glasses are generally not allowed unless they're worn daily for religious or medical reasons. The photos must meet these stringent passport photo requirements, otherwise they could potentially be rejected, resulting in an unnecessary delay. The next indispensable document is proof of your financial support during your stay. This could be in the form of bank statements, proof of employment, or a letter from the person you're visiting, stating they will support you. Bank statements should show a history of consistent income, while a proof of employment could be a recent payslip or an employment contract indicating your salary. If you're being supported by someone during your stay, a letter of support should specify the individual's contact details, relationship to you, and an affirmation of their willingness to support you financially. Lastly, you might require a letter of invitation from someone living in Canada, if applicable. This letter essentially verifies that someone in Canada is expecting your visit and has agreed to accommodate and support you during your stay. It's a document that can significantly bolster your case for visiting. So there you have it, a more detailed overview of Step 2. You've gathered all the essential documents for travel, each fulfilling their specific criteria. Step 3. Mastering the art of filling out the application form. Let's take a deep dive into the details. Start by locating the form on the Government of Canada's official website, designed with user-friendliness in mind. Upon landing at the homepage, you'll see a section titled Services. Click it and a drop-down menu will unfold. Within this menu, your target is Application Forms. This is where your journey with the form begins. Be aware this isn't a task to be taken lightly. The form necessitates painstaking attention to every detail. Each field carries its weight, and skipping any can result in errors leading to unwanted delays. While the questions are simple, they demand precision. Don't be surprised by the seemingly repetitive nature of some questions. They each hold a unique function. Here are some common pitfalls to avoid. Never rush. Take your time to understand each question before answering, and avoid generic responses. Be specific and concise. Beware of typos or incorrect data, as these can cause significant delays. Always double-check your answers for errors. The website is your guide throughout this process. Look for the help icons adjacent to each question for additional information. At the page's end, you'll see a Need Help button leading to an FAQ section and a live chat with a customer service representative. Remember, filling out this form isn't just about providing information. It's about providing accurate and current information. Therefore, before hitting the Submit button, we strongly suggest a thorough review of your responses. Sometimes, a second review can spot errors initially overlooked. Accuracy is your friend here. Answer all questions with precision to ensure smooth processing of your application. Let's get started on this journey to fill out your form with perfection. Step 4. Pay the fees. This step is pivotal in the process as it supports your visa application's progression. To entirely grasp its significance, let's explore its mechanics thoroughly. The term fees in this context encompasses several distinct charges. Foremost, we have the visa application fee. This is a uniform charge that anyone applying for a visa has to submit. It covers the administrative and processing expenses associated with managing your application. The cost, however, is not uniform. It oscillates depending on the type of visa and sometimes even the country of application. For instance, a tourist visa to the US currently costs approximately $160, whereas a work visa may cost around $190 as of the time of this narration. Secondarily, we have the biometrics fee, though it's not universally required. Biometrics are fundamentally your unique physical traits, such as fingerprints that serve for identification purposes. Certain visa applications necessitate the collection of these data, and there's inevitably a fee associated with it. This fee, approximately $85 as of now, covers the expenses of gathering, storing, and managing this sensitive information in a secure environment. You might now ponder over the methods to pay these fees. In today's digital epoch, it's uncomplicated and expedient. Payment is typically made online via a trustworthy and safeguarded platform. This digital transaction ensures the confidentiality and security of your financial data. And the most appealing part is the versatility of payment options. Apart from your credit or debit card, options like PayPal, bank transfers, and even digital wallets are accepted, making this step adaptable and swift. So remember, when you arrive at Step 4 in your visa application process, ensure that you pay the required fees to proceed seamlessly with your application. Payments are typically made online with a myriad of options available for your convenience. Step 5. Submit your application. This pivotal step can be accomplished in two ways, either digitally or through traditional mail. If you're tech-savvy or prefer a more contemporary approach, online submission is the way to go. This involves creating an account on the Government of Canada's official website. Here's how you do it. First, navigate to the official website and look for the Create Account or Sign Up button, usually located at the top right corner of the page. Click on it and you will be redirected to a registration form. Fill in all the required details such as your name, email address, and create a secure password. After completing this, you will receive a verification email. Click on the link in the email to verify your account. Once your account is set up and verified, you can proceed to the application submission. The website is designed with user-friendly features that guide you during each step of the process. All you need to do is fill in the application with accurate details and then hit the submit button. Now let's talk about the traditional method, mail submission. This method might be suitable for those who prefer to deal with physical paperwork or who aren't comfortable with digital processes. To submit your application via mail, you first have to out the completed application form. Make sure your printer is set to print at the best quality to ensure all details are visible. After printing, check the form for any errors or omissions. Next, place the application inside an envelope. Write the address provided on the application form on the envelope. Make sure to follow all postal guidelines. For instance, the envelope should be sealed properly, the address should be written clearly and correctly, and the appropriate postage stamp should be affixed. This ensures that your application reaches the intended department without any delay. In both processes, accuracy is key. Double-check all information entered to avoid any delays or rejections. For mail submissions after printing, review your application thoroughly before mailing it to the address provided on the form. Remember, the more meticulous you are, the smoother your application process will be. Step 6. The process of waiting. Recognize the critical aspect of allowing your application to navigate its way through the processing structure. The processing time, which can be rather unpredictable, is a variable that can dramatically fluctuate. Although it's not something you can directly manipulate, it significantly influences the destiny of your application. This period, while loaded with expectancy, is nevertheless critical to the overall process. The processing time, as you'll discover, could vary considerably depending on a wide array of factors, each unique yet interconnected. For example, the number of applications being managed by the office at a given time could tremendously affect the processing speed. To put it simply, the larger the backlog of applications, the longer it may take to process each one individually. A surge in application submissions can create a bottleneck, slowing down the processing speed. Moreover, the factor of completeness, or the extent to which your application is filled out entirely, plays a vital role. A thoroughly completed application not only conserves time, but also multiplies the chances of a successful outcome. An application that's precise, comprehensive, and free of any omissions or inaccuracies tends to be processed more swiftly, as it minimizes the need for additional back-and-forth communication. So, why does this matter? It matters because time is a precious commodity that you cannot afford to underestimate. Time can pass surprisingly quickly, and before you know it, your planned travel date may be just around the corner. Therefore, average processing times can range from a few weeks to a few months. But it is highly dependent on the specifics of your application and the workload of the processing office. It's crucial to keep in mind that these are just averages and can be subject to change. Therefore, the golden rule is to always apply as early as possible, keeping in mind potential delays and giving yourself ample time to address any issues that may arise. Applying well in advance of your planned travel date allows you to account for these variables, ensuring a smoother, less stressful experience. Step 7. Upon approval of your application, the course of events that transpire can be quite a thrilling experience. This approval is communicated through a visa, which will be delivered to you via mail. The arrival of this visa, a physical representation of your successful endeavor, is a moment often met with an overwhelming wave of relief and joy. It's the triumphant finish line after a marathon of form filling. The stress of gathering the right documents, the countless hours spent in queues, and the seemingly endless, anxious wait. There's a surge of excitement as you open that envelope and reap the fruit of your labor. It is the moment where dreams of a new beginning, in a new country with new opportunities, start becoming a reality. However, after the initial celebration, it is crucial to understand that the approval is not the end of your journey, but rather a stepping stone leading you to a whole new world waiting for you. Although a significant milestone, there are still numerous steps to take, and many more adventures to embark on post-approval. On the other hand, if your application is denied, you'll receive a letter detailing the reasons behind the denial. Although a setback, this denial does not mark the end of your journey. In fact, it is merely a detour. This letter is not only an explanation but a guide on how to improve your application for future attempts, transforming a potential stumbling block into a stepping stone. It's crucial to view this as an opportunity to learn, improve, and come back even stronger. Remember, every failure is a step closer to success. So, do not lose heart. Keep pushing forward and never relinquish your dreams. Now let's delve a bit deeper into the key points of the Canadian visa process. The first step is a crucial one. It involves determining the exact type of visa that aligns with your travel requirements. For instance, you could need a student visa, a work visa, or a tourist visa. Each type has its specific prerequisites. A helpful tip here is to conduct a thorough research about the visa category you are applying for, so that you have a clear understanding of its particular demands. The second phase is the collection of necessary documents. This may seem straightforward but requires your full attention. Missing out on any important document could hamper your application process. Be sure to gather essentials like your passport, proof of financial support, or a letter of acceptance if you're a student. Try to make a checklist to ensure you have all documents in place. The third step demands meticulousness in filling the application form. This form is a mirror of your intent, and any error could lead to visa refusal. Remember, precision is key. Take your time, double-check every entry, and make sure there are no discrepancies in the information filled. The fourth step is all about payments, paying the right fee for the right visa. The fees differ based on the types of visa, so ensure you're paying the correct amount to evade unnecessary complications. Always cross-verify the amount before making the payment. The fifth step involves submitting your application. It's the culmination of your efforts so far, and it's crucial to ensure that everything is in order. Cross-check every detail before clicking submit button. It's better to be extra cautious than regret later. The sixth step is an exercise in patience. Once you've submitted your application, it can take days or even weeks to process. Try not to fret during this time period. Remember, good things take time. Lastly, the seventh step is the receipt of your visa, or, in unfortunate situations, a letter of explanation in case of denial. Remember, every journey begins with a single step, and understanding the visa process is your first step in this journey. So there it is, a detailed guide to the Canadian visa process in 7 steps, with extra tips and reminders to help you along your journey. Safe travels!